going to be tying a PGM Super Cricket. It's a very effective bluegill fly, also catches bass, and it also catches trout. Kind of a multi-purpose fly. We're going to start with a nymph hook, size 12. It's a TMC 5263. Let's pinch the barb down. And I'm going to be using a faceted tungsten bead. This is a heavy fly. I like it to drop in the water very fast in the water column. This is a 1/8 inch faceted tungsten bead. It happens to be an Orbis bead. You can use any bead style you want. Change it up. Of course, place your bead on there correctly. Today I'm going to be using a 70 wax flat 70 denier thread, and I'm getting close to the end of my thread. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this. So we're going to start behind my bead. A trick I like to use to secure that bead is you don't have to do a lot of wraps behind it yet, but go ahead and move to the front and catch the front of that eye, move it back. I found that this actually keeps the bead in place very nicely. Reduces the slide around. Secure your bead. Move your thread to the back. And get it just slightly behind the barb of the hook. Trim off that excess. I use Bard Sexy Floss. This will have to be a copper medium for the legs. This fly does have legs. And we're going to tie in a set of legs on each side. The way I like to do this is take your rubber legs, catch that, slide your thread to it, make a couple wraps, again you're just going to catch the thread, shorten them up close to your length that you want. Now I'm just going to bring the thread down and trap that. We can try that again. Trap there, and a couple wraps there. Don't worry too much about trimming the legs yet, except for this long piece. I want to trim it. You can leave it fairly long so you can match up. Now I'm going to use, for the body of this fly, I'm going to use Ice Dub Peacock. I find this fairly hard to use. I don't like to use a dubbing twister on it. I don't like to split the thread. I just like to wrap it. It actually holds on fairly well with just a wet thread, but it is very wiry material. So you're going to grab a little bit of that, and you're going to spin some on here. Start your wraps, grab that dubbing down below, and continue the wraps around until you start building a body. You'll see it starts to twist in your fingers, so it's getting tighter on the thread, which is what you want. Grab your rubber legs, pull them back, start wrapping in front. Now you want the body to start building. I like to just use some saliva. I don't like to use wax because the wax tends to gum this up. You notice your legs are moved back at this position now, so they're out of your way. Again, grab that dubbing and start working forward. At this position, which is about a third of the way behind the tip, you want to put in the next set of legs. Again, I'm going to grab that thread and I'm going to catch the thread, pull it in to secure that leg, a couple wraps, go ahead and trim that one there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Reaching across here, grab the thread, and pull that right up to the side. Couple wraps. Add a little more dubbing to this. It's a very buggy fly. Pull your legs back. Don't worry about this. It's these stray fibers. Make several wraps behind the the bead. Now we put a collar on this fly. I've got a nice big bushy black hackle. Very long, and what I'm after here is have those barbs about the length of the hook itself, so that's where I want to start wrapping in. So we're going to trim this back here. I'm going to tie this in right behind that bead. Several ties. Make sure that you haven't caught your rubber legs. Hackle feathers, but we're going to just wrap this now right behind that bead. And then we're going to secure that. Several wraps behind and go just behind the bead again. Again, make sure that you're trim your feather. If you slide your scissors down to it and push and click, that will take that off of there. Now, what we want to do is we want to go ahead, moisten that fly. We want this hackle to lay down on the fly. So I'm just going to wrap backwards. About 10 turns. And you'll notice it pushes that back. Different methods to do this. Do a little cleanup here. This also secures the bead to the front, even though you do have a cross thread across the front there. Trim that up a little bit. Go ahead and half-inch tool. About out of my thread. Like so. Like I said, it's a very buggy fly. And I'm going to trim these legs slightly shorter. All the legs should be about the same length. So we're just going to come across and grab these legs there. So everybody's about the same length. And there you have it. That is the PGM Super Cricket. Called that because in the water it pretty much simulates or emulates a cricket in the water. And like I said, it's a very good fly. We'll put a little glue on that to finish. And we are done with that fly.